great score.
What is going on, Boiler Nation? It is Tuesday, September 9th. You're watching or listening to another episode of the Boiler Breakdown Podcast. You're stuck with me, Evan, and our good friend Aaron here as Tanner is coming back from vacation. So he'll be back next week to save you all from me talking a lot. But yeah, we're coming out to another week, another Boilermaker victory. First time we can say that we've had 2-0 to start a year in quite some time. Barry becomes the first head coach since 1916 to start his career at Purdue 2-0, which is wild. Shout out to him. Shout out to the boys for winning on Saturday over the Southern Illinois Salukis. How you doing tonight, Aaron?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I am doing all right. So it's nice. We always talk about in past years of like how football when you win, it's awesome because you get a whole week to kind of just bask in the win. But when you lose, it sucks a week to bask in the loss. So it's nice whenever, especially after last year, Purdue being able to come off back-to-back wins. What were your thoughts on Purdue's victory over Southern Illinois?
Well, I think before we go there, the Barry Odom, being the first 2-0 coach since O'Donnell, I had to look up who those victories were. Can you name those two teams that he beat back in 1916?
I saw it. One of them wasn't one of them a high school.
No,
it wasn't. No. I swear I saw one because he maybe it was the win after because I saw a thing it's talking about who he beat after that. Was one of them Wabash?
Yep, one of them was Wabash.
Was it like Butler or something?
Nope. Give you one more guess.
One more guess. Can I get a hint?
They're in the state of Indiana.
In the state of Indiana? Okay. Was it like DePaul?
Yep, that's it.
It was DePaul.
Yeah. Wabash and DePaul, so some world beater schools.
Yeah. So Purdue would own the where they play for the Bell, isn't it?
Yeah. They would own that back then.
They would own that back then, yeah.
Maybe it actually is in the trophy room somewhere. Tanner can confirm if he's ever saw it.
Yeah.
But I thought that stat was interesting. Barry seemed pretty proud of that stat, and I was like, well, wonder what the competition was back then.
Yeah. I mean, they probably were pretty good because that was back time when, all private schools were like, that's when, I mean, you had Princeton, you had the whole Ivy League schools were dominant because they're the ones who could afford these types of, they could afford sports versus your public institutions couldn't.
University of Chicago.
Yeah.
So
Harvard and Yale dominated the national landscape. All 6 teams.
Yeah, much different times 100 years later today.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, Purdue wins by a score of 34-17. Did not cover the score. I think the spread was 19 or something. But yeah,
did not cover.
Purdue could have. They went for that 4th down at the very end, mostly just trying to drain the clock versus take a field goal. So sorry if you had it was a bad beat if you had that. Just kind of overall thoughts. What were your thoughts going into it? What were your thoughts kind of after, obviously, the first 2 defensive possessions were a little shaky, as we saw Southern Illinois kind of march down the field, especially on the second drive in about 3 plays and score. Thankfully, the Purdue offense was able to do the same. So the first 4 possessions of the game, it was tied at 14, which was made for exciting if you're just a casual fan. But being in the stands, personally, I was not. So I was just relieved that we were tied. But after that, I mean, Purdue defense only gave up 3 more points the rest of the way. Offense kind of asserted itself as we were kind of hoping as a Power 5 school would, or a Power 4 would against an FCS opponent. Granted, pretty decent. I think.
Yep.
You put Southern Illinois plays Ball State. I'm taking probably Southern Illinois every single time. Sorry to our friends at the Ball State State of the Union pod.
answering a few things back what you said.
Yeah.
First thing going in the game, a little nervous because being ranked 15 in the FCS, I mean, means you have some talent, and
they had beaten some power. They beat Northwestern. They beat Northern Illinois. So this is a program recently too, and so it's a program that is used to beating FBS schools.
Correct. They didn't have much roster turnover, and that's key. I would think in today's college landscape of having continuity. The coach had been there for a while. I know they had injuries last year, but it looked that they had a game plan coming out, especially around the scripts and 3-play drive in the second series. I was like, okay, this isn't going to be cakewalk tonight, but we're going to win. I know you were a little antsy on edge, and I just was like, there's a lot of time left.
Yeah, that's just my natural state.
I know. But I knew there was a lot of time left. I knew Shear was going to adjust in regards to the defense. And, I think I saw the stat. They only held Southern Illinois for the last 3 quarters to 130 yards total.
Yeah.
So they definitely clamped down. Charles Correa is just phenomenal. And I'm so happy some of this staff, these players came with Shear and Odom over and running that 4-2-5 scheme. I will say that it did leave me with some concerns though. I will say that offensive line played pretty well.
I'm pretty sure all 5 played the entire game, which I thought was interesting, which I like. Some people I saw on the boards were like, they didn't like that because they're like, well, why can't you, shuffle in some guys, get some experience? And the argument that I saw that I agree with was like, just because of the new staff, but like you need as much reps for the ones as possible because you've got, the preseason's over now. You've got, big boys the rest of the way, and you need that offensive line to be as cohesive as possible. The only way to do that is it's hard to replicate game reps. And so, obviously you run that risk, but obviously, the Purdue came out unscathed. I don't think anybody really got, I know there was the Branch kind of came up a little limp. I think he went back in eventually. I couldn't remember.
He did.
On the offensive line front, the fact that all those 5 guys could play every single snap, that's pretty impressive and hopefully pays dividends down the stretch.
And be physical also in that game too.
Yeah.
Because I know the press conference, there was questions about Maccabee's touching, amount of touches in 2 games. I'm not worried. The guy's been around for 4 years. He's our best offensive skill player. We're going to have to give him the ball.
Yeah.
But to be able to move the line, a scrimmage like they did continuously through that game, and I understand FCS, that is where an FCS is going to probably differ, and also outside speed at the skill position. Other than that, it's how do you execute, and give Southern Illinois credit. They're a well-coached team. They executed very well at the start. It's just this staff made adjustments, and the players made adjustments on the defensive calls out there that Correa was making. I was like, hey, well, then we didn't have this last year.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we had any adjustments last year.
Nope. And I was pleased to see that. That level of effort's still out there. So are there things we can do better? Yes. Is there a level of concern moving forward? Yes, but we got what we got, and you are who you are. And as you're right, quote unquote preseason's over. But we haven't really had 2 games like this in a long time in regards to a lower conference FBS team and then FCS team.
Right. I'm trying to think back. Obviously, because even with Braum, it was always like you had the Eastern Michigans of the world that you had a stinker where just Purdue just a real head scratcher, but then they turn around and beat Iowa and Michigan State or Ohio State or something. But they lose to Rutgers or Eastern Michigan or something. Like you said, it's just kind of, I was really curious to see how the offensive line would perform. Obviously we saw last week against Ball State really stacked the box and was able to contain the run. Obviously Purdue was able to beat them through the air. And Ryan Brown did a pretty good job then. But then this game, you wanted to see that if they played the pass, like could Purdue, force their will on them, and they did. And at one point, I think Mockbee was averaging like 6 yards a carry at one point early in the game, which was phenomenal. He ended up, like you said, he was an absolute workhorse. 32 carries for 126 yards, just under 4 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns, longest run of 12. You had Ryan Brown had 9 rushes for 50. Antonio Harris 5 for 26. Malachi Thomas 6 for 14, and Christian Moore had 1 for -2. So all in all, Purdue ran for 214 yards, which is, again, you like to see that. It is definitely, I think it's one of those things where they figured, they saw that they weren't going to be able to stop us on the ground. And it was just like, all right, there's no, you don't get style points in this game. You just win. And therefore Purdue just kind of just punched them in the face and just kind of kept hitting them until the game ended.
You do get style points, but that's for playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I actually did think my bold prediction at the beginning of the season of Mockbee doing like a Ralph Gold kind of game. I thought that was in play for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
So they started pulling him. And I was like, darn it, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, skill position, we saw Nitro Tuggle get his first touchdown reception.
His only catch.
Yeah. Burhan as well.
Yeah, he actually George led the team in receptions with 3. Yeah, they really spread the ball around. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different guys catch the ball, which was cool. Just kind of get guys involved. Like you said, Nitro Tuggle caught a touchdown, and so did Branch the first 2 drives. Yeah,
and Burhan was targeted 3 times, caught them all. Branch was targeted 4 times, caught 2 of them. Mockbee 2 for 2. Horton 4 for 2. Tuggle, he was targeted 2 for 1, with the 1 being that touchdown catch, and then Malachi Thomas 1 for 1, and Michael Jackson 2 for 1 as well. I think the biggest thing I thought through this game was we didn't see Jack McAllister out there at all.
Yeah, first time since 2016 against Nevada. Yeah,
and we didn't punt. I was like, been almost a decade.
Yeah.
I was ready giving him a helmet sticker.
Yeah. I guess one thing that kind of came away with where I'm a little concerned, we'll talk about, concerns going into the USC game, is I thought Brown was a little inaccurate, which we kind of saw that in the Ball State game. It just didn't come back to bite us. That he threw that pick near the end zone. I think it was to Branch. Branch didn't even try and go up for it. It was a little short. I don't know if it was a route issue or just couldn't get it there. But that's where I do kind of worry. I mean, obviously, this is only his fourth start as a starter. And he did miss. He probably left, I'd say, 1 to 2 scores on the field just because of not completing the easy pass, overthrowing some guys. So that's where I do worry a little bit, because those could be difference. You're down 21-7 against USC on 3rd and 6, and then you're driving, and that kind of throw could obviously stall a drive and really kind of kill the momentum. But that's kind of where I do worry a little bit with Brown. But again, like you said, it's kind of we just do the best we can to our ability and just try and play it as mistake-free as possible.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I did like to hear, and I think it's confidence in the locker room, is not using this game as measuring stick. The measuring stick is the opportunity each week. When Odom stated that, I'll say this. I like listening to Hudson, but I can definitely tell Shear doesn't like talking to the media each week. And I just enjoys listening to him speak, because he's going to be very direct about things. There's things they got to clean up, and there's a standard here that they're wanting to establish. And I don't think results will come, as what Odom is saying. If we meet our standard, those results will come. I believe that because we saw when we don't have a standard what happens.
Yeah.
It gets ugly. And we were playing penalty free for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
That's what I was blown away by. And when Who was it that lined up over the center on the punt?
I don't remember that one at all.
It was a penalty decline, but that was the start of like the penalties then on that next defensive possession after we punted.
Yeah, I don't remember. I can't remember.
I can definitely tell he was not happy about those penalties in the fourth quarter because it was a clean game from there.
Like yeah, I mean, up until just even going to last week, going to like into it was probably had about 7 quarters of really good penalty, for the most part, penalty free football, and then I think they kind of maybe just a slow focus in the fourth quarter or what. I mean, the game was kind of already kind of a little by that point. But I mean, that's been a big difference. That's what's need in these games, especially against peer programs, and just to even have any sort of chance against the USCs and other games of the world. You cannot beat yourself. You can't have turnovers. You can't, turn your 3rd and 2 into a 3rd and 12 all of a sudden or something. So that's what's, I mean, that's what's it's gonna take. Plus, obviously, a lot of luck and some breaks.
I think, and we'll go into that in a couple of weeks. Well, next week actually when we play Notre Dame. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this team reacts in regards to discipline on the road. Because I mean, home games, and it's nice looking at this first quarter of the season. 3 of the 4 games are at home, and you're really only traveling 100 miles.
Yeah, I mean, they don't leave the state until what was it? It was like October when they actually leave the state.
Yeah.
So so it's pretty nice from that standpoint of not having to travel like USC is doing, which is across the country.
Yeah, we'll have to do that in November.
Yeah,
but that's November's issues, not today's.
Yeah.
I think the one thing to be encouraged by is, again, this coaching staff is paying attention to the details, and this team is paying attention to the details. That's not something we heard from Brom. That's not something we heard from Walters. Hazel just said we had to watch the tape. So I haven't heard this, and I don't remember Pope ever saying like we have to pay attention to the details, and we have to hold each other accountable.
Yeah, I mean, Odom's definitely a old school type coach, and I don't know if just based off his. I mean, he's had some, like, obviously at Drew Lock at Missouri, which they were able to throw the ball around on the field, but I'm not sure if he's ever going to be what we saw with like Brom, where it's like we're throwing
Blaine Gabbert.
Ooh, did he? I don't know.
Did he have Blaine Gabbert that first year? I know he was on staff when Blaine Gabbert was there.
I do not know. Maybe the chat can tell us that. But I think he's going to be just we're going to play as mistake free as possible, ground and pound, like kind of take what the defense gives us. So as long as we win, I don't care what we look like. I'm fine with being Iowa if we win.
I do not want to play that brand of football. That team just needs to give in and cave into the triple option at this point, folks. That's just misery to watch. I will say this, like he stated that we'll go play anyone anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, the parking lot, I love that answer. It's like, yeah, we'll go play in the parking lot. Better be Braxton in the parking lot if we're going to play the team there. But going back to the details and accountability, I think this team definitely has that. I think this team, I don't want to say they're going to overachieve, but I might be the first one to say it. I think they might.
In terms of so that was a 3.5. So you think definitely the over, maybe?
I think it'll be 5.
Okay.
5 and 7 season might be in play.
I'd be thrilled if we got the 5.
I would actually change my tune depending on how this weekend goes.
Oh yeah. This weekend could swing things in either direction depending on how it goes. I'm worried. Which we can kind of get into that a little bit if you want. Or I guess before we kind of wrap up, I know you wanted to bring out a new segment, helmet stickers, if people are familiar with. What was the show? It was college football. Was it College Football Live or whatever that show was? Yeah,
it was College Football Live. It was back when Lou Holtz and Mark May were the co-host with Reese Davis. They would at the end of each night they would, or during the week, I would say on ABC after the last game, they would pull out the helmet stickers, and Lou and Mark give each other give players helmet stickers.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to bring that nostalgia back to the folks, and the listeners. So we don't have the helmets. We're going to get those eventually. We'll do some helmet stickers, but we'll just do one each. I think that's fair enough. Do you want to be Captain Obvious here, or do you want me to be Captain Obvious?
You can be Captain Obvious.
All right. My helmet sticker this week is going to go to none other than Devin Mockabee.
Yeah.
I mean, straight up bell cow back. When you do 32 rushes, move up the rushing stats and closer to all-star. I don't think he is going to catch it. He might catch Corey Sheets on that.
Yeah.
But you carry the rock 46 times in the first 2 weeks. It's going to earn you some respect. And when your coaching staffs and your players all respect you, you're doing this in your master's program for a chemical engineering degree.
He's mechanical, right?
He graduated. He graduated in mechanical. He's in his master's program for chemical.
Okay. Nice.
So, Devin, you get week 2 helmet sticker.
For me, mine's going a little off. What would be probably an obvious one, mostly because of one play, just because it just, to me, kind of attention to detail, just kind of just the difference that we've seen from, going back to last year, which I hate harping about last year, but just again, it felt like such a stark difference, and that's Smiley Bradford, mostly because of his 4th down stop that he had, where he just came in and just hit the guy hard and wrapped up and dropped the guy on that 4th down stop when, I can't remember what the score was at the time, but they were trying to drive, and definitely kind of like once that happened, I was like, all right, this game is like, they messed around a little bit at the start of the game, but this game's over in a way. The team just tackles. They feel like they fly to the ball a lot more. They're running with purpose because they know what the hell they're doing. We've talked about eye discipline, gap discipline. It just felt like when the guy started to run, I'm like, go again. And he just came out of nowhere and just dropped the guy. Which credit to that quarterback. I thought he played pretty dang well for an FCS quarterback. But yeah, Smiley Bradford. He had 3 tackles, 2 solos, 1 tackle for loss, and also a pass deflection. So yeah, still haven't had that turnover yet on defense, but I just thought that play alone was just like, here we go. Like I like what I'm seeing out of the defense.
I thought you were going to go Taj Rael there for a second with 7
Thought
tackles.
about it, yeah.
But
I just find it hilarious that because I noticed it on Saturday because I just never thought about it, but the name on it is just LEL. It's just 2 letters on that whole back plate. It just cracks me up. Because I saw it and I was like, dang, there's nothing on his jersey. And then I realized what it was. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Definitely is awesome. I think you could that was a heck of a play by Smiley Bradford. You could also go Crew Wakely for that hit. I thought he broke the guy's back.
Yeah.
He just laid him out. I don't know I know he was coming up gimpy. Hopefully he's good this week. Gonna need all bodies on deck.
Yeah, could have had CJ Nunley. He had back-to-back sacks, which again kind of slammed the door shut in the second half. I thought the defense, like I said, outside those first 2 possessions, they made adjustments, which is unheard of, and just kind of asserted their will. And credit to them for kind of buckling down. I'm not sure what caused those first 2 possessions, but hopefully that just kind of wakes them up and for weeks to come.
College football, it's hard to pitch shut out. So as long as they were communicating and adjusting, that's all we could ask for. I think they played great those last 3 quarters. So nothing to not hang your hats on. It's just something to keep building on.
Yep.
All right, let's move into USC week.
Yes, sir.
So this is the first time the boys are playing USC since 1998. First time we'll ever remember, unless you remember 1998. I don't.
I don't remember 98, no.
Okay. Maybe Tanner does.
I'm sure Tanner does, yeah.
I highly doubt it. I'm going to sit here and say, if he remembers at that age, kudos to him because I don't have that good of a memory.
Well, I don't know if he's fine. He liked it on our face, so if he's watching, Tanner, let us know if you remember that game.
Highly doubtful. USC comes in 2-0. I wouldn't say they played lesser talent. They played 2 FBS schools, Missouri State and Georgia Southern, averaging 66 points a game against each of them. They, I think, hung up 70 on Missouri State first week.
73, yeah.
Oh, yeah, gosh. Don't really know the playmakers of this team, but I know Jaden Maava played at UNLV under Odom.
It was Barry's first year, yeah. And
transferred to USC. And I think that's why that Malachi Nelson transferred. Is that his name?
Okay.
That highly touted quarterback that Lincoln Riley got. I think he went to Boise State and now is somewhere else.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about that. You could be right. Yeah. Interesting.
Stats this year, he's put up 707 yards. Wow.
2 games.
With a 73% completion percentage.
Yeah, that's the impressive thing. That's the impressive part.
They're actually again, I don't know level of competition, but they're actually running the ball better this year than they have in the past. But again, that's the level of competition. It's hard to tell. Defensively, they're still giving up points, but I mean, they're also scoring many points. So,
yeah,
it's give and take with that. I mean, they've given up a total of 33 points. So I really don't know much about this team just because, all I know is like they're kind of still a pass first, high octane offense. Do you have anything you want to kind of cover on this? Because I mean, I really don't know much about this USC team.
Yeah, I don't know either. Outside of, and obviously the obvious, which is more outside, but like, I mean, Lincoln Riley is on the hot seat at USC. So this is one of those games where if Purdue is able to pull off an up, like, man, that hot seat becomes on fire for Lincoln. I don't worry about us being able to score in this game. So I feel like, again, if Georgia Southern can put points up, I feel like, granted, that could also have been against second string, third string, who knows? But
how many possessions do they get if they're getting the ball back after like 73 points, 59 points?
Yeah. So I'm not really worried about the offense. I am worried about the defense just because, again, like, that's where Lincoln Riley has made his money, is creating explosive offense. So that's where I'm really going to be watching, is just kind of how does this defense respond to that? Because obviously they pitched a shot against Ball State, got hit early against Southern Illinois, but now they've obviously got the big boys coming in and one of the biggest brands in all of college football.
Are they still a big brand in college football? I mean, they are historic. I get it.
Yeah.
They haven't.
I still think they are. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they have one of the coolest, most iconic helmets. I will say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which would be cool to see in Ross-Ade, but
I think X factors here. Staff knows it. Josh Henson was their OC the last 3 years.
Yep.
And we see. I mean, I know you covered this on another podcast you were on, was like Walters in Illinois. Knowing players, knowing staff. I mean, for 3 years, you're going to know tendencies. I know Henson didn't call the plays for USC. That was Lincoln Riley's job, but he was the one scheming things up.
Yeah.
So in doing game plans and reviewing with Riley. So
yeah,
you got to think that this staff. I mean, Barry talked about it. They talked about it in the offseason already, so they're going to be prepared for this week. But the staff knows tendencies,
right? And I think this is one of those games where I think if Purdue can, play a clean game, both from a penalty standpoint and from a turnover standpoint, keep them at a minimum, and if you can, I mean, I think I kind of mentioned we haven't created any turnovers, but also part of that is the other team has to make a mistake too. In Ball State and some throw it a ton, but like I have a feeling that USC is going to just throw it all over the field. So you hope you can bait the quarterback into a mistake, or obviously tip ball, get some breaks going that way. If Purdue can create a couple things like that. I mean, again, if you can put the pressure on them early, you're at home, so the crowd's going to be fired up for it. And obviously,
is it sold out this week?
I haven't sold out anything. I haven't seen anything. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not close. I mean, there's 54,000 there on Saturday. Great crowd. It's a game that should end close tonight. Probably it'll be getting there. But if you can put some pressure on them early, you just never know. I mean, it's early enough in the season. They're not at home. There's the outside pressure of fighting for their coach's job. You never know. It's college football. It's one of the makes it so fun. But yeah, I just hope Purdue can make it a game early, and just see what happens. I just worry that we could see. I don't think it'll be as bad as the Notre Dame game last year, but I just don't want to see something like that where it's just like end of the first quarter, and we're like, oh my God, this is there's not a chance.
So we gotta. I don't know if you went through this comment up.
Yeah. Shout out to Thad commented. He says Breeze versus USC is one of the few games I think I remember over Tanner when the field was like playing on the surface of the sun and the TV crew kept showing the thermometer, showing the heat. He said that now I remember hearing people talk about that, about just how it was at USC, just how ungodly hot it was. It's the first time they've been to Ross State since the 70s. So
correct. I will go back to what you were echoing. Clean game. I think if you can get a positive turnover differential, I think Purdue might have a shot. Mm-hmm. But with that, you also have to have a clean game and also be converting third downs.
Yeah. Which they've been better at this year compared to last year, which is nice.
Level of competition, though. Still, I'm going back to.
Yes, of course. And also, like I said, we got a couple breaks too with those pass interference calls that kind of kept the drive alive. But hey, I do know that is one where USC has committed a lot of penalties so far. So maybe that's again one of those things where if you can, as part of the game, if you can bait them into a few things that again maybe takes your 3rd and 12 into a 3rd and 2. Who knows? I'll take it, everything you can.
I go back to the USC Michigan game last year and Wink Martindale being the difference maker in that game for Sherrone Moore, and then stopping that USC offense right then there on the goal line. I remember to win that game, and I'm hoping Scheer can do that, especially with inside knowledge. I mean, we're not going to get inside knowledge next week. That's just going to be line them up and let's cross our fingers, boys.
Yeah.
But this game, I'm hoping there will be some inside knowledge here that we can take advantage of and kind of expose. Now they're going to adjust, but if we can capitalize early on that inside knowledge, especially Tennessee's first part of the game, and keep this definitely under the spread, because I think this spread is kind of high for this game. But we'll just roll them out and see. And again, this isn't a measuring stick, is what this coaching staff is saying. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what this fan base is. I really think our measuring stick's going to be next week and see how far we are.
Yeah, which I was talking to another good friend, Mike Rossworm, about the Notre Dame series, and I looked it up because I was just curious, because we were talking about how no matter what, we always feel a little bit of confidence of beating Notre Dame. And I was like, I feel that too, but I don't know why. I looked it up since we've been alive, which you were born in 92, right? Or you were 91?
91. Okay. So the end of it. And end of 91. Literally
since 92, Purdue has won 5 times against Notre Dame.
And 2 and I can only remember 2 of the 5.
So yeah, I was like, I remember less than 5, because we won in 97, which was Tiller's first year, 99, which I believe was my first Purdue game. It was on my birthday. I don't remember any of it. I remember seeing Notre Dame run out in the field, or who I think was my dad can't seem to verify either, which is scary.
So the answer is no, you cannot remember it.
I remember 3. Yeah, I remember 03.
Yes.
Barely. I remember 04. I remember 04, but I remember 07. So I don't remember 07 very much.
I remember 07. That was Jimmy Clausen.
Yeah, that was not a very good Notre Dame team. But I remember 04 just because of how monumental it felt winning at Notre Dame.
Yep.
But yeah, 5 times, which we can talk more about that next week, obviously. Maybe that could be our blind rankings of ranked Notre Dame wins since we actually, funny enough, Mooney, his time here. So tell me there's a chance I sent that exact gift to my friend Mike when we were talking about it. So we're on the same wavelength there. Yeah, you never know. We can talk about more of that next week. But so before we talk other games, what is your prediction? MVP and spicy and or bold prediction for the USC game, which kicks off at 3:30 Eastern on CBS or Paramount Plus, I think.
Yeah, it's their streaming platform. I think this might be Gary's last game he calls at Purdue. Because Gary's
that's right. Yeah,
Gary
Davison. Yep. And they're hosting the
2000 team.
Yep, Big Ten champs, Rose Bowl.
Don't know why this wasn't announced preseason. Like I feel like it was just announced this week.
I don't know. Breeze will be there, which is always the big question whenever those teams around that era are being honored. Is Drew going to be there, which he is, which always brings an additional level of excitement for everything. Obviously, Travis Dorsch, Vinny Sutherland, Seth Morales, all those guys. It should be a pretty cool thing. Hopefully, it's not a blowout by half, and then you can enjoy the half. Yeah.
Them being honored.
Yeah.
So score prediction.
So the spread is still 21.5. Is that the spread still?
Yep, still 21.5. So that's pretty much what.
What did you say the over under was before we started recording?
59.5. So what they're thinking, the books are thinking is 42-17. Is kind of what the game will be. USC. I want to be a homer on this podcast because I know we are, but I'm not here. Okay, I'm being realistic. I think the Purdue's going to cover the spread. I think USC's probably just got too many horses in the stable in the end, and that's kind of what I'm fearing. But I think they do cover, and I think 34-21 is going to be I was debating between 34-37 for USC, but I'm going to go 34-21 USC. Player of the game, and I want to say Tony Grimes because I feel like he's going to make a play here in regards to a pick. But I also want to say Jack McAllister because I want punts.
Or because he's got some awesome fake punt where he launches it for a TD or something.
No, we're going to put Jack McAllister in the hopper for next week because that's going to definitely be
okay.
So we're going to go Tony Grimes. Spice prediction, he's going to make a pick. And it's probably going to be a pick 6.
Dang it, you took mine. Not Tony Grimes specifically, but
I thought you were going good. I thought you were going Jack McAllister. I was going to say, man, great minds think alike here.
No. I will be the homer on this one. I usually am. Except for last year. I think last year kind of broke me on that.
No, you didn't become a homer till late you got rid of the homerism middle of last season.
Yeah. Once I realized how bad it was, I was in denial. Let's see. I will go pick a Purdue to win, obviously. I'll go 37-34. Player of the game, Spencer Porath, nails one to win. No doink this time. He did on Saturday.
What happens if he does a double doink? What happens if he does a double doink?
Too soon. Yeah, because I was right in front of me on Saturday when he had doinked his in. Spencer Porath, but I was gonna say a pick 6. Purdue gets one. Let's see here. Spicy or bold?
Then you just said a game winner. I mean,
that's I know something. So I'll take your pick 6 and I'll raise it.
You're gonna.
I may not raise it, but I'll just say Purdue defense forces 3 turnovers.
Okay.
One of them is a strip sack. We'll say that.
So you're thinking we're going to be +3 in the turnover category?
Yes. I could see maybe us throwing like one pick. I can see Brown just because
I was going to say
but yeah.
Given what we saw what we've seen the last 2 weeks, he's going to throw one this week.
Yeah, so I think we'll be +2 probably. But yeah, I think defense, create some turnovers early, to get the crowd in it, and Porath is the hero late in the game.
Do they carry him off?
Question is, if Purdue wins, does the crowd rush the field?
No,
it's an unranked USC.
No.
If it's a game winner after last year,
no.
Okay. And I said the same thing in 2011, 2012 when we beat Ohio State. Tanner and I both said the same thing when we beat Ohio State at home because they sucked when Fickle was their coach, because we were like second or third row. We're like, if we win this game, we are not rushing the field. Like,
you're talking 2009.
Nope. We were in school. 2011 or 12. Can't remember which year it was.
Are you talking about the Pearl Pryor year? Are you talking about the Braxton Miller year?
It was the year Robert Marv rushed it in overtime to win.
Oh, it's the Braxton Miller year of Ohio State. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so was that 2012, 2011, 2012? I can't remember.
It's 2012.
Yeah, my sophomore year. We were like second row. We're like, we're not rushing the field no matter how we win this game. And then we won it in overtime, and we just got bull rushed by everybody behind us. We're like, all right, I guess we're running on the field. But yeah,
I don't rush the field.
I hope we wouldn't, but you never know. Never know.
This isn't 2018 either. Don't rush the field.
No. Do you want to pick some games first or do blind rankings first?
Let's pick some games.
All right. Big Ten. We'll do Big Ten week 3. Starting off on Friday. Early game on Friday. 6:30 on Big Ten Network. You got the Sycamores traveling down to Bloomington. You're ranked 22nd. I don't know, the ESPN app doesn't show the spread anymore for whatever stupid reason. Probably it's on their ESPN bet app or something. But I'm assuming Indiana is favored by about 600 points.
Play someone real. I can't wait till next week. I'm
still worried about next week. I'm still worried.
No. Look, I'm going to say this right now. I know this is a blasphemy on this podcast. Luke Allmeyer is going to be a first-round quarterback.
Yeah, could be.
And they are going to smack them silly next week.
I hope you're right. I don't know. I'm nervous about it. Yeah, Indiana's going to win by $1 billion on Friday. Friday at 10 o'clock, New Mexico travels to UCLA. 0-2 UCLA.
Give me New Mexico.
So I picked New Mexico on another podcast I was at with a really good buddy just because UCLA is trash. There's going to be about 70 people there.
I wonder if they're regretting paying Nico that kind of money now.
I think he regrets going out there.
I don't think he cares.
That could be true. He is from Southern California, so maybe that he just likes being close to home. Other Big Ten game, actual Big Ten game, Oregon, number 3 or 4 Oregon travels to Northwestern, noon on Fox. Is this big noon? Is this big noon kickoff?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Kickoff?
Yes, because you talked about it on your other podcast.
I don't remember.
You did. So quack.
Yeah, by a million. By a million. Noon on ABC, Wisconsin travels to number 19, Alabama.
How hot will the seat get it?
For both coaches, I feel like if Alabama smacks them, Fickle is in serious trouble. And it's still Alabama, I get it, but the fact that you go down there against a struggling Alabama and you just get your teeth kicked in, that could be real bad for Fickle. But I think also flip side, if Wisconsin wins, DeBoer's gone.
They might burn his house down.
Yeah,
I'm not even joking.
I'm with you. Yeah. I still think Alabama wins.
Is Edwards playing their quarterback? He got hurt week 1.
I have no idea. I have not kept up with much lately.
Okay.
But I'm still picking Alabama large.
Okay. I will say I'm going to call the upset right now.
Really?
Wisconsin.
Okay.
I don't think that Alabama team's that good.
I don't think so either, but I don't think Wisconsin's very good.
I don't think so either. I think it's going to be a slap fest.
Saturday noon on Big Ten Network. Central Michigan travels to Michigan's number 23. I think they're only ranked 23 because of their name. I think Michigan takes care of business. I don't know what the spread is, but Michigan large.
Butch Jones, Brian Kelly ain't walking through that door to help them Chippewas get into the Wolverines.
This game will be an absolute bloodbath. Houston Christian travels to Nebraska, noon on Fox Sports 1. I think Nebraska might put up 70 again.
Yep, Nebraska.
Nebraska, obviously, played Cincinnati in a pseudo home game, but they've looked pretty impressive.
Look, their schedule. There's a chance they could be 8-0.
Yeah, they could be pushing for that playoff, the last kind of Big Ten playoff spot. Towson at Maryland, noon on Peacock on Saturday. Maryland, yeah, I don't know about either team.
I don't know anything about Towson.
The 2018 basketball champions Villanova travels to number 2 Penn State. I kind of forget Villanova had a football. 3:30 on Fox Sports. This is I don't know. Penn State kind of played with their food last game.
They did.
Do they do it? Do they do it for 2 games in a row?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No. They need style points for playoff purposes.
Yeah. Norfolk State at Rutgers, 3:30 Big Ten Network. Rutgers.
Yep. Yeah. Rutgers.
Some of these games suck. Youngstown State at Michigan State, 3:30 Big Ten. Shout out to Michigan State for an exciting win last week in was it double overtime?
Yep, double overtime against BC.
Yep. Sparty. I'll take Sparty in that one.
Yep.
Ohio at God bless them. Get that payday. At number 1 Ohio State. I think the question is Ohio State hang 80 on them?
It's the battle for Ohio.
Yeah. Call it that.
The problem is one's a MAC school, the one isn't. So
yeah.
Buckeyes large.
Who's Ohio beaten? They beat West Virginia last week.
Yeah, they beat West Virginia.
Yeah. But yeah, Ohio State by 800. Western Michigan at number 9 Illinois. Does Illinois, are they overlooking the Broncos for next week? Nope. I don't think so either.
I had them in the Big Ten title game. No way. They looked impressive in capitalizing against Duke's mistakes.
Yep. Illinois large now. And number 9, first time they've been ranked in top 10 in a long time.
Wasn't it since Juice Williams and Mendenhall were there?
Probably. Yeah, I can't remember the year. UMass at 7:30 on Big Ten Network. UMass at Iowa. I think Iowa wins by a score of like 20-7.
Do we? Thanks. I'm going to say Iowa, but I would love to see UMass win this game. They got to let parents go, by the way.
Yeah. Big Ten ACC Challenge after dark, 10:30 ESPN. Minnesota travels out to California. Play Cal.
Give me row the boat.
I'll take Cal on this one, just to be different. Yeah, that's the only reason why. So other notable top 25 games, really only a couple. Probably there's 3 big ones. You've got one that I consider the game of the week. Number 6 Georgia travels to number 15 Tennessee, 3:30 on ABC.
That is game of the week for sure.
Yeah,
and I think Georgia rolls.
You think Georgia rolls?
Rolls.
Just because it's at Tennessee, that place is going to be
electric.
Electric. I've been impressed with their offense. I know Georgia obviously has got the Georgia defense.
And Gunner's good. Quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got championship. Played in the playoffs. Played in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
So
I'm still taking Tennessee in a close. I think it's going to be kind of a la their game against Bama a couple years ago when they won on a walk-off. I don't want it to happen, but that's just what my gut tells me.
I think Georgia wins it by 17.
I would love it. The biggest game in the CW history, I would say, 4:30 on the CW. Number 18, South Florida travels to number 5, Miami.
South Florida's got some good wins this year.
Boise State, and if they beat Miami, they have a chance to go like 11-12-0 because they're in the Conference USA or whatever.
No, they're not.
Or they're in the American. Sorry, American.
Yeah, they're in the American.
Yeah. They have a chance to run the table and take that group of 5 playoff spot. Even if they don't win this game, they have a chance to run the table and clinch that playoff spot.
Does the Big 12 out next year? If they do.
They should. Yeah, they should. It makes sense.
I'm going to say Canes win this one, though.
I think so, too. Yeah. I'm going to say it's a close one, though. Other ranked game, probably.
Does CW have a kickoff show, by the way?
No idea. It's 7:30 NBC Peacock. You've got number 16 Texas A&M traveling to number 8 Notre Dame. Notre Dame coming off a bye week after that week 1 loss at Miami.
Give me Elko and the Aggies.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
I hope so. But I'm gonna take Freeman and the boys, and the Irish bounce back after stewing in that loss for 2 weeks. That's about it. Yeah, no other ranked matchups. There is an SEC matchup between Ole Miss and Arkansas. I think Ole Miss takes care of that since they're at home.
What do we think about LSU Florida?
Oh yeah, forgot about that one. My bad. LSU large by a million.
Maybe you're getting fired.
If LSU embarrasses them, yes, I think so.
They leave them in Death Valley.
I think they leave them. Yeah, I quite literally leave them. The team doesn't even go in the locker room. They just get on the bus. They just leave him in the locker room. They leave while he's in the press conference.
Has that ever happened in college? Did it happen to Coach O? I think it happened to Coach O when he was at USC.
I don't know.
I think
this is. I think LSU destroys them. Being at LSU, yeah.
I think it is. I think this is probably the nail in the coffin for Billy Napier. They should never brought him back.
I mean, even if it's not the rest, I mean, they have the number 1 hardest schedule as of right now, based off the top 25. They have the hardest schedule in the country moving forward. So if it's not now, I mean, you're just delaying the inevitable.
Should have never got rid of Dan Mullen.
Yeah, no kidding. Cool. Well, let's do some blind rankings. This feels like something that like you would have made. I don't know.
Are we doing the most influential Purdue graduates?
No, we're not. But it's probably dumber than that.
We should really do that one for homecoming.
Yeah, that makes sense. This one was kind of tailored just for you, and you'll know why. At least for you and I, specifically. But I just thought, hey, middle of September. I loved fall when we were in college. So this was blind rankings. Activities to do at Purdue during the month of September when we were students.
Oh, come on.
All right. Number 1, attend a home football game.
Number 1.
No. Okay.
I mean, it sucked then, but it was number 1.
So it depends on the year.
I mean, what else were you going to do? You're going to go to practice club and go back to your dorm or your apartment. I mean, that was or do homework. I mean, or go to Cactus on Friday nights and forget someone that you had to take them to football in the morning.
Number 2, strolling through campus on a September morning when it's like 50 degrees outside and it's perfect.
I'm going to say this is number 2.
Oh, I like it.
It's number 2 because I had nostalgia. Again, Ball State walking down Engineering Mall, and I was like, man, I remember these trees looking so much when they're in color. It's great. Hate it when it looks pretty in the spring when all those dogwoods are white, but it smells horrible.
Yep.
And you have sinus infections.
Yeah. Number 3. This will just playing at the intramural fields, specifically flag football.
Number 5. All I remember, so folks, listen to this podcast, put some color on this. We were on intramural teams during our time at Purdue.
Just one time, though, wasn't it? Just 1 year?
No, we played two flag football seasons.
Was it 2? Okay.
Yeah.
3, that's right. Yeah.
3 basketball.
We don't talk about basketball.
No, that can be in the hopper for later. But
yeah,
during football, it was a night game. There was some dew, on the field. We were getting beat bad, and
knocker.
I remember I was going out on a pass to the flat, and the ball went right through my hands and went back for a pick six. And Evan literally was wearing gloves at this time. Takes off his gloves and just smacks him against his legs and looks at me like, "What are you doing, moron? Catch the ball." It was a 5-yard pass.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Yes. I remember that vividly because the expression on your face and like
I don't remember that. I remember
the disappointment.
It was our last year, I remember. And the only reason I remember is because one of the guys we played with was one of my roommates, and we were both basketball referees, but he had access to the service that we would use for like film when we watch film, but he was able to pull up a clip from our flag football game, and there was one where you were chasing the quarterback. I think he did like 2 or 3 cutbacks, and you were just like 3 steps slow, and it just looked so bad on film, but it was cracking me up.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. We'll just say it was
the second and third.
We weren't wearing cleats. Yeah, number 4. This is why it's specific to you and I. And you'll know why, because it wouldn't have made sense for Tanner. Attending the Cranard Career Fair. Brought to you by the fact that I'm going to the career fair on Thursday as an employer. That's why I thought of it.
Folks, this is called Mitch Daniels probably career fair for any newer listeners. Cranard for back then. Dang, level anxiety, folks, it never went away. So if you're feeling that anxiety and you're listening to this podcast, it happened a decade ago. Man, I would probably still put that at 4. That intramural was still worse.
And then your number 3, this is definitely nostalgia, watching other college football games at Jake's on a Saturday night.
Well, it's got to be 3, and I think that's 100% right. If you would have said trivia on Wednesdays,
I didn't go to that, so that's why I didn't put it,
Folks, if you're listening to this podcast and you're in school, go to Wednesday and trivia night at Jake's. Best time you'll ever have.
Across the river now.
Yep.
Yeah. So number 1 was football game. 2, walk through campus. 3, Jake's. 4, Cranard. Intramurals.
Yep. Wasn't change to think about it. Got it 100% right this time.
Yep.
Man, I was ready for the hopper tonight for Purdue grads. I have it right here.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it. And
I love it. Yeah.
We'll put it this way, Tanner. I know you're listening to this. There's a person on here. If you don't put number 1, you're going to get a look from me that's going to be I'm going to be flabbergasted because it is your complete diet. So, all right, let's pay some bills right now, folks.
Yeah, let's play some bills. Yeah.
So the Boy Breakdown is brought to you by Mad Mushroom, serving Boilermakers since 1993. Mad Mushroom is located in the heart of West Lafayette and is well known for the home of the original cheese stick. Whenever any members of the Boy Breakdown come to town, they like to sit down and try out a pizza of the month with an ice cold beer. September's pizza of the month is Bottoms Up. I think of the Bottoms Up song when I hear this, see this. Not going to sing it for you, everyone, but it's their version of an upside down pizza. They cover the dough with lots of mozzarella cheese, drizzle with their traditional pizza sauce on top of their 2 favorite toppings. So next time you're in town, order online, use the coupon code BREAK5 and get your $5 off any order over $20. You won't be disappointed. They're again best pizza in town, in my opinion. Mad Mushroom can't disappoint. Also, if you're at Harry's, just order online and just over right across the street. So, as always, Mad Mushroom, feed your head.
Yes, sir. I'm wearing the world's largest drum t-shirt from the shop. Happy to have the shop back again for another year. If you're unfamiliar with the shop, they've been making hometown apparel for fans. 2011, Boilermaker owned, started out in just kind of in their garage and basement, making t-shirts, and now they've got 3 retail locations across the area. You've got 1 in Carmel, 1 in Broad Ripple, and 1 in downtown Indy. So if you ever find yourself in Indianapolis, make sure you stop on by. They've got all things, a lot of universities throughout the state, all the major ones aside from the one in South Bend, even Ohio State. So if you got an Ohio State fan in your life, great options there. Very comfortable shirts, fit well. You got shirts, hoodies, hats, stickers, flags. And you might need drinkware, glasses, thermoses, all that good stuff. I use a ton of their stuff. Obviously, you got Christmas coming up. Make sure to shop early. But if you are going to shop online, you can go to shopindie.com. Make sure you use promo code breakdown. You'll get free shipping on your entire order. Appreciate the shop for hanging on another year.
I have some final thoughts. Okay. It was announced this week, the transfer portal going from 2 windows to 1 window.
Yep.
Thoughts on that? I'm kind of concerned, to be honest.
I like it just because I hated, even though it benefited Purdue this year, like how we got Ryan Brown, but I just so dumb how a guy goes to a school in the spring and is gone in the summer. It just felt like really. I mean, I guess obviously, I see it both ways. You get there and maybe you realize you were sold a bag of goods or whatever, and bit.
Well, you are sold a bag of goods now, so
yeah, literally. I wish it was a little bit later. I wish it was like, but also I understand too. Which I think goes to a bigger conversation we need to have about of the playoff, because you have to align the portal kind of with school as well, because these guys still go to school allegedly. Yep. But you've got the playoff that still is happening into, when did the championship happen last year? It was like
it ended, I think, on Martin Luther King Day.
Okay, yeah. Which just feels so late. I kind of wish they would bump up. I saw some people say like, if you could have like the championship game on like New Year's Eve, which we had it that one time a couple years ago when Ohio State lost on that field goal. That way you could have, the second, the portal open then, and then so you can also have these guys hopefully. I mean, we haven't seen it yet of a key contributor, but you still have guys that are on these, playoff teams that opt out because they have to hop in the portal because they, especially like these quarterbacks, we saw Penn State's backup do that last year. So hopefully curb some of that, but I like the 1 window. Again, I wish it was a little bit later just from a timing standpoint, but I get it. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like it one bit. I think it needs to be after spring ball. I think you got to stay with your program at least a year.
Yeah, I see that. I would, if they're going to do that. Yeah, I like it after spring ball. But yeah,
I think that's kind of where it needs to land. I think if you put us in that predicament last year, with these new rules, oh Lord, I would be so concerned what this roster looks like.
Yeah.
More concerned than what it was now. I wish
I do like this after spring, because if obviously you can have guys, if their coach leaves or whatever, and they want to stick it out and they want to go through spring practice with their new coach, and then they say, hey, this is not going to work out for me. Let's leave. Correct. And you still have all summer camp. I like that. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
I think you need to be there full academic year.
Yeah.
So after spring ball usually is finals, and you can leave there. However you want to deem your credits for your second semester, that's up to you. That's your personal decision as a player, as a student, but at least you get a feel for the coach. You don't like it, get your name in the portal and get out before summer camp starts, and you're good to go still. You can still make
like that. Yeah.
Contribution somewhere else. So it's kind of disappointing to see this. I wish that we can get some uniformity on all sports this way.
Yeah.
I even the Olympic sports, golf, basketball, volleyball, everything, softball, baseball. I know baseball would be hard and softball just because they go into June.
Yeah.
But if they complete the full academic year, then I think that's fair enough to all students and all faculty, staff, especially since the universities are paying them now.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
All right. Well,
before we hop off.
Nope. I think basketball practice is, started.
They've got workouts right now. It's not official practice yet, but it's workouts at least. Yeah. It's pseudo practice. They
were in the gym.
Yeah.
They were in the gym getting shots up.
Yeah. Appreciate appreciate everyone watching, listening. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Boilerback Pod. We'll have a full house next week talking USC game, hopefully a Boilermaker victory, and previewing that team up north. That's Notre Dame. So appreciate you guys. Talk to you later.
Hammer down.